I've been hooked at shooting at the 50mm focal length ever since I got my first 50mm lens about 7 years ago. The first 50mm lens I got was a 50mm f1.4 Canon EF mount, and it was made in 1993. However, I recently picked up the 50mm f1.4 G Master from Sony, and today we're taking it out for a spin here in Bali. We're gonna be shooting some landscapes, some villages, some street portraits, and maybe even some street photography. Alright, it is far from warm up here. We are in Kintamani, Bali right now, and we have just wrapped up a lovely little sunrise shoot. It's been pretty rainy recently, so to get really nice conditions was an absolute treat this morning, but I want to just run you through why I cannot take this lens off the front of my camera. 3 main reasons. And it's not aperture. Even though it's got a 1.4 aperture, yes, it's fun to play with. It's not the main reason why I love this lens. So 3 reasons. We've got color, sharpness, and then, I don't know if I'm saying this the right way, but it's like eye focal length / compression. Let me walk you through it, because color and sharpness, yeah, we get it. Take a photo, looks sharp, colors look great. Sony G Master would expect nothing less. But then the reason why I love this lens so much and the photos that come from this lens so much is purely because the 50mm focal length is very similar to how we see the world from our eyes. Now that doesn't mean we're walking around with 2 50mm lenses on the front of our face, but it does mean that when we see photos from a 50mm lens on a full frame camera, that they kind of look somewhat similar to how we see the world. And that makes the photos to you and I arguably look more appealing than possibly any other focal length. So definitely a big bonus when you're shooting on the 50mm. Now, of course, being able to shoot at 1.4 is a huge bonus. I love blurring out the background. I love being able to shoot in super low light conditions. But even this morning, I'm shooting as the sun's coming up. I'm shooting between f4, I would say, and maybe f6.3 the most. I'm sure there are a handful of shots that I went down to 1.4 to really blur the background out, but it's not the only reason I love the 50mm f1.4. Anyway, we're about to dive into the village and go capture some local life this morning as the sun is still looking incredibly tasty as we speak. So before that goes and disappears, let's go shoot. Now just quickly, I want to take a minute to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Motion Array. I've been playing around with some of the high quality photo overlays in this video, and they're all from Motion Array. By the way, adding dust and grain effects is one of my favorite things to add to an image to really give it a little bit more punch, oomph, atmosphere, and overall feeling and vibe to the shot. Now, while Motion Array has a ton of overlays you can use on your images, they also have a load of sound effects, VFX, graphics, plugins, and tools all in one place. Not only are Motion Array's assets super high quality, but they're also incredibly easy to use. You're either just installing a plugin or usually just dragging and dropping assets, making them a breeze to incorporate into your editing workflow. I've been using Motion Array's sound effects, stock footage, and plugins on all of my YouTube videos for years now. So if you're looking for a one-stop shop that has everything you need to be able to add those final touches to your video or photo projects for that matter, you can get access to the giant library of Motion Array's assets using the link below to really start leveling up your creativity. So thanks once again to Motion Array for sponsoring today's video. let's get back out there and continue shooting.
Take this one off. Yeah, bagus, bagus. Oh, bersama. Whoa, right up against the wall there. Lovely stuff.
All right, by far one of the most important things a lens can offer me is fast autofocus. When I'm out and about shooting street photography, I need to make sure that when subjects are moving and I'm moving, things are moving very quickly, that the lens can keep up and stay sharp. Alongside good autofocus, also just being small in general is a huge bonus. Not only because I'm shooting with the A7C Mark II, so I need a smaller body, but also because when I'm shooting people, when I'm taking a photo of someone in front of them or, to the side of them, maybe they don't know what's going on. Of course, I'm always gonna ask afterwards, but either way, I don't want a giant lens as this gets really, really intimidating. I was shooting with the 28-70 f2 from Canon on my Canon R5C this time last year, and it was so much harder to get people to say yes for me to take photos of them versus now when I have this setup. It's still not the smallest, but it's definitely very compact. And now more or less everyone says yes to having their photo taken. You don't stand out like a professional. People don't think it's for a Netflix documentary, even though photos don't particularly end up in Netflix documentaries all that often. That's more of a video kind of thing. But anyway, you get the idea. Having a small lens and a small setup is super important for street photography. Just pulled up on the side of the road at this beautiful small little fruit market to kind of take some shots while we're on our way out of Kintamani this morning. And I'll be honest with you, I've never actually just stopped randomly on the side of the road up here. This is arguably my favorite place in all of Bali, possibly the world. And yeah, I've never taken the time to really just take it in up here and just shoot the local street life in the surrounding areas. But either way, I thought I'd wrap up this shooting session today by just letting you know one last thing I absolutely love about the 50mm, and that is you can shoot everything with it. You can shoot landscapes, you can shoot people, you can shoot street photography or village photography like we've done this morning, and it looks great. Maybe you can't do that with a 400mm or a 16mm, unless you want to get creative with it. But either way, I just feel like there is nothing I can't shoot, maybe except for wildlife on a safari, with the 50mm. And that's a really, really good feeling. Anyway, we're gonna mosey on home and see what else we find along the way. Take some snaps while we're in this beautiful part of Bali. And yeah, sun's coming out, definitely getting a little bit warmer. And I'll see you back home. All right, Luca, what are you saying about the local fruit? Yeah?
So tasty.
Beautiful. Nice way to end off the morning. Oh, all right.
So good. How good is it?
Oh, very fresh. Very fresh and good. So it's absolutely no secret that the 50mm lens is for me. However, it might not be for you and it might not suit your work. With that said, I would love to know the focal length that you struggle to put down when you're out shooting and it just seems to nail every single shot that you take. Anyway guys, that is gonna wrap up today's video. If you have enjoyed, let me know in the comments down below. If you're new around here, a subscribe would mean the world, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.